In the explosive interview that Garry Nolan gave that's been making the rounds the last couple of days, Garry said some really intriguing stuff. Obviously, one of the biggest things that he said is that aliens are here 100%. But he also said that maybe they're not aliens. He believes they're drones. It's all drones. So let's dive into that a little bit. Get in here. This is Jack with Cosmic Road. I talk about UFOs and the paranormal. Please hit like, please subscribe, share on social media, and let me know what you think in the comments below. Okay, so let's go into what Garry had to say about the phenomenon, the UFO phenomenon, being basically entirely drones, according to what he believes. Let's go to that now.
Okay, so let's take one step back. Reverse engineering programs
of downed craft. Now, the first question that people will ask is, well, if they're so frigging advanced, why are they crashing? Because what's crashing is not actual living things. I mean, I use this example a lot. If you wanted to study a tribe of cannibals in the middle of the Amazon, are you going to go yourself and show up in the middle of the tribe and not hopefully become dinner on the other side of it? So if you're an advanced intelligence, I don't think we're all that advanced, frankly. You're not going to basically put your life and limb at risk by coming here. So mostly what you're seeing here are either drones or some sort of advanced AI or whatever it is. I mean, look, we're already dealing with an alien intelligence in our own emails, right? Our own Chat GPT, et cetera. We don't even know what it's doing. So imagine if you were a million years ahead of us. How do you have a dialogue with something like that? Or what is it that could possibly do?
Yeah.
Now, those are fascinating comments, and I love Garry for coming out with this. Do I agree with that? Well, I don't know. Not really, because so many people have interacted with the beings. However, a lot of the beings seem to be drones or drone-like creations. The Greys, especially the smaller Greys, are said to be clones or drones or living androids, whatever. So they are manufactured beings of some sort from countless accounts. So does that dovetail with what Garry is saying? I believe it does. He is also talking about more of the other dimensional aspect of UFOs, because I've heard him talk about this before, where UFOs are just a piece of a other dimensional object. And what we're seeing is only a piece of the real thing. Well, I thought it would be interesting to compare what Garry said to what a high-level experiencer like Dolly Saffron says. And she is fairly well known because she has been made that way by Preston Dennett, a really great UFO researcher who wrote a book about her and has interviewed her many times and co-hosted shows with her. And she is interesting because she is a fully conscious contactee. They have not wiped her minds like they have most other contactees. For example, Garry Nolan. He seems to be an experiencer himself. As a child, he remembers waking up and seeing beings in his room, and they put him to sleep. And he's had a few incidents since then, UFO encounters. So I believe that Garry is an experiencer and is a contactee, but they wipe his mind. So, so that is the experience for most people, but not Dolly. If she is on the level, then she is almost unique in being a fully conscious contactee. And it makes sense that, because what she says is very pro-alien, very pro-phenomenon, nothing negative really at all coming from Dolly. So let's hear what she has to say.
The electromagnetic sphere and the consciousness of the being that is piloting that is in that sphere. That is a drone. This drone goes out from the main craft. He's in the sphere, his consciousnness, and he's piloting it that way. It's totally psychic. The energy that's propulsing this craft is in that sphere as well. It is the only way I can describe it is a type of graviton wave that they use. And if there was an explosion out of it, I'm wondering why.
There you go. She says that indeed some of these craft are drones. They're drones in an interesting way because there are pilots that, their consciousness enters these objects and flies them around. Now, those are specifically the egg-shaped objects, which she also compares to the Tic Tacs, which is interesting. Now, these do seem distinct from the larger ships that have beings running around in them that are living beings and that she has encountered and has high-level interactions with. She's been on ships that are full of beings that are the Anunnaki. She's been on other ships where she's seen a bunch of Anubis-type beings, the Egyptian god Anubis. So, so there are living beings that she has interacted with. But some of these smaller craft are drones that are piloted remotely by the pilot's consciousness. And she herself has flown some of these craft in person, not remotely. Because apparently the way it works is the living pilot that is entered into the ship, if it's a bigger ship, interacts with the ship, which is also piloted at the same time by a remote consciousness. And she talks about that in that same interview that I'll link to. So really interesting that there's two consciousnesses at the same time piloting these craft. So, she has a lot of interesting stuff to say. And if you are skeptical of Dolly's claims, I understand and I sympathize. However, Preston Dennett is a really great researcher, and I really respect him a lot. And he places a lot of trust and faith in Dolly's story. But countless people have interacted with the beings, many of them, perhaps even most of them, a majority of them, with the Greys, which are indeed a type of drone. And then we have these other egg-shaped objects, and, surely other shapes as well, that are, as Dolly says, drones, but they are piloted remotely by a consciousness. So there are at least two corroborations in a way for what Garry Nolan is saying. However, I would also highlight the countless experiences that people have had with certainly living beings that are distinct from the Greys, that seem to have agency and awareness and consciousness of their own. And those do not seem to be drones. So I think that he is partially right. His research into this, as far as I know, is fairly new, and it is centered more on the science. I don't think he has really explored the more woo-woo or fringy aspects of all of this. But I know that he leans in a woo-woo direction, and I really appreciate that from Garry. However, I don't think that he has really studied a wide body of lore around this. My impression is that he has confined himself more to the practical and the scientific, including, of course, consciousness involvement. So I think that his research is ongoing, and his understanding of the phenomenon will evolve over time to encompass things that are not simply drones. But time will tell, and hey, maybe you guys think they're all drones, and that's fine too. I want to know your comments below. So let me know your thoughts. My own thoughts are that it's mixed. There's some drones, there's some living beings, there's other dimensional aspects of it that Garry himself talks about. So I think it's a broad mix of phenomena that we are getting in the greater phenomenon. So those are my impressions, but let me know yours. If you have enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up. I would appreciate it. Smash the subscribe button and the bell to be notified of future videos. Check out some of my other videos. There's plenty of them on the channel. And join me on social media. There's Facebook and Twitter links below. Love to see you guys there. And if you could share this video when it drops on social media, be super helpful. Until next time, this is Jack with Cosmic Road signing out.